Hi, I hope your day is going well. Thanks for joining me. Today, I'd like to talk about what it's like being a feature film actor in Los Angeles. Full disclosure, I've only been in one feature film. I played the lead character's boss, and the name of the film is Ashley Jones is Perfectly Normal. As of the publishing of this video, it's available right now on Amazon. And my character had lines on about 30 pages of the original script, if I remember correctly, out of a 110-page script or something like that. And I will say that it was a good learning experience. There are really good things about it. There are really not good things about it. But I think that could be said about a lot of experiences in life. On the positive side, well, we'll look at both sides. On the positive side, I met some, and I'm still now in touch with some really cool people who I'm really glad to have met them, and I'm glad that we're friends now and colleagues. And I don't think I would have ever met these people if I hadn't been invited to be in the film. And even those professional friendships, part of those friendships are just 100% pure friendship. Nothing to do with professional development or connections or anything like that. Just straight up friends that love film. Just love film and enjoy talking about it and all that. On the tough side, when we were shooting, Ashley Jones is, and I'll just call it AJ because that's a lot faster. And but when we were shooting AJ, I would call it a 3-shot film. So we were I was an actor in the film, that's it. I was not involved with writing or production or anything like that. My job in this movie, and I write and produce other stuff and direct other stuff, but in this movie, in Ashley Jones, my responsibility was just to focus on my role as an actor. But the writers and producers of the film, we all as a team were very pressed for time. So Ashley Jones is what I would call a 3-shot movie, meaning that, or a 3-take movie. Pretty much most of our shots are, 2 takes, 3 takes, and move on to the next thing, and almost zero rehearsal. So it's almost like what you see in the movie was our rehearsal. And you wouldn't know that from watching it. But if you were on set, you'd be like, man, these people are flying. I mean, they are just, action, action, action. We got it. Next. Action, action, action. That's good enough. Action, action, action. And it's not that anybody doesn't care, but when you have access to a location, and again, I don't want to conflate other people's responsibilities with my responsibilities. But if I say they, it sounds like I'm talking about somebody who's foreign to me that I don't know, and that's 100% not the case. But they, when you're extremely pressed for time and you have limited access to a location, limited access to an actor, limited access, because actors have lots of other projects going. So it's like this person's available on this day and on this day, but not on these days and not on these days and not on those days. And so you're trying to get everybody together And if you watch Ashley Jones, you find that there's a lot of people on set on some of those days. And even on the days where the shoot days, I think we shot 14 shoot days, but I can't, I was not there for a lot of the days. I was there for my character. We shot his scenes. My character's name is Bruce. We shot his scenes. I think it was there 4 or 5 shoot days. And obviously when they're going to put me there on days when they're shooting Bruce. And so the order in which we shot things, I don't think it was just kind of random. Like, whenever we had access to this location, there would be scenes that happen early in the movie, maybe in the middle, and maybe toward the end of the movie. And then all of those scenes were shot in 1 day or 2 days at that particular location. And as an actor, I got introduced to the project, and this is, again, my personal experience on this feature film. I was brought onto the project pretty late, and so my lines, I was just hanging by a thread. I barely knew my lines. I knew them, but just barely. And because I got added to the project really late, and I had not much time to spend with the script. So between scenes, I would just go hide, away from the noise and away from where they were shooting. That way, if I need to cough or sneeze or something while they're doing takes, it's not a problem. But basically, I would shoot a scene, and then they'd be like, okay, cut. And then they'd move on to the next scene, and I would just find out what my next line was, what the next shot that we were doing was, and just go through my lines, go through my lines, go through my lines, go through my lines. And sometimes I would find somebody who was available on set, and we'd go through my lines a little bit, and them just going through their line, just reading, the other part of the lines, and there's scripts going around everywhere because we have little miniature scripts for what we're scheduled to shoot that day and cross through things. And I would just go off somewhere in the corner and go through my lines, go through my lines, go through my lines. Then they would say, hey, somebody go find Bruce. And then somebody would come find me and say, hey, we're going to shoot your shot in whatever, 15 minutes, get ready. Like, okay, go by hair and makeup, check with them, make sure I'm okay. Ask somebody else, hey, can you check my wardrobe? We had a very, very small crew. And so I obviously don't want my character to have junk on his clothes or whatever, because it's permanently recorded. It's on Amazon now. and usually for the we only had one person for hair and makeup, and the clothing person would be busy working with somebody else, or it's just very, very limited staff. And so in some ways you're responsible for yourself to check with somebody and make sure all your stuff is okay. But it was just really, really rapid paced. And to say that I'm in touch with people from the project in some ways would be an understatement, because I'm more than in touch with people. They're my friends now. And I think we just have that common love of movies. I would say for me, shooting was not a pleasant experience. To give you an idea of how, it's not pleasant because of how stressful it is, because how limited we were on time, because of what's at stake. And I feel, especially when I'm the only person on camera and the camera's, panning toward my character, coming toward my character, dollying toward my character. Everybody's standing around and just waiting for you to do your best to nail it if you can. And that's a lot of pressure. A lot If you care about what you're doing, it's a lot of pressure. If you care about the project, you care about the people that have hired you to do your job, it's a lot of pressure. But to give you an idea of how stressful shooting was on this project, it was insanely fast paced. I saw I saw an advertisement of a contest that was something like hang out behind the scenes with so and so while they shoot whatever. And I thought, if I'm on set and I'm not getting paid, forget that. That's just working, you know? Like, hang out with somebody while they paint the interior of their house. No. What? Am I getting paid? No, I don't want to hang out. I mean, there might be some sets where I'd be like, hey, yeah, that's cool. If I was on a set where they had a, I don't remember what it's called, but one of those screens where the screen moves behind them. There's some technical stuff where I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool to see. But as far as hanging out on set, yeah. No, I'm good. Unless I'm there to learn technical stuff. But I could see how somebody who hasn't had to work on set might feel like that was cool. But I'm sure that there's a lot of people like me in LA that don't want to hang out on any set if they're not getting paid or there's not some professional association, with being there on set. But that's just me. Some people love shooting. You might love it. You might love it as an actor. You might love it. I think I prefer being on set when I'm directing because there's just more for me to do. It's more engaging for me. But either way, I don't do it for myself. I do it for others. And, when we had the premiere and my character comes up and and people laugh, that makes it worth it. So it's one of those things where it's kind of like exercise. The doing it may not be fun, but if you like the results, then doing it is worth it. And that's kind of how I feel about shooting as an actor, that it's a challenge and that it's stressful, especially on a set like that. I mean, there's it's a work environment. It's a work environment just like, in my opinion, just like any other job. And except maybe, really stressful and really high, fast pace, bang, 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 we got to get this shot. And I think that it's one of those things where it's just worth it when you get the end result of having done it. That would I do it again? Yeah, absolutely. But is it stressful? Yeah. So I hope that information helps you in case you're wondering what it's like. The short version is being on a movie set is just work. Just pure 100% work. Just work. And especially for me as an actor, the more that I'm on camera, the more that I have, especially if I'm the only person on camera, then the pressure is really on me to do the absolute best that I can because I care about the projects and I've been entrusted with what I think is a great responsibility as far as the film is concerned to give 100% and do the absolute best that I can and end each day and each scene knowing that I gave all that I could possibly give for that scene because every scene is important. And I guess it's maybe even more stressful when you are kind of like, it's like you're shooting a rehearsal. And I can't speak to any larger projects where people have more time on scene, on set, and they have more time to shoot. And people talk about, oh, so and so was talking to so and so in their trailers and hung out, got to know each other, this, that, and another. The film that I was in was not like that at all. It was just whammity, 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 and then you go home, come back next day, bang, 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 go home. And it's like the only time that we ever got to talk to each other, pretty much. At least my experience in playing the lead character's boss was at the premiere. So we're all busy. We're busy. As far as I know, everybody that I've talked to is busy. Busy before filming, busy during filming, busy after filming. And, none of us, everybody has a ton of other projects going on, a ton of other films that they're, writing and directing and acting in, et cetera, et cetera. So Ashley Jones is just one of, a whole bunch of projects that other people have going on. And so they're shooting a different project, on this day, and then they're going to shoot Ashley Jones shoot day on this day. Then they're somewhere else on another day, somewhere else on another day. And then Ashley Jones, there's going to be a Ashley Jones shoot day over here. And then another Ashley Jones shoot day, over here. And then followed by another project. And it just, it's just kind of like these two wheels come, and some days they meet up and some days they're gone. But there were other people. I can think of one actor on set that just loves shooting. They're like, hey, this is great. I love it. I didn't feel that way at all. I'm like, let's do this. Let's do a good job. But who knows? Maybe if I get invited to do more projects in the future, that they will be different for me because it's not my first time. Maybe it'll be a little bit more relaxed. But that was my first feature, and that was kind of like, I don't have a lot of on-camera acting experience, so it's kind of like I'm getting basically thrown into the Indy 500, and foo, 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 foo. I mean, it's so fast, so unbelievably fast, like barely time to breathe. But I hope that, and every actor is going to have a different experience, but I hope that information is helpful to you in case you're wondering what it's like. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And if I think that, if there's more questions, a lot of people asking a question about one thing or something getting upvoted or something like that, I might make a video to ask about that. If somebody has questions about the casting process or how long, it was before finishing shooting and before the film came out, and did anybody, have I received any phone calls from the film, and anything like that, feel free to ask me, and I'll try to get back with you. And I guess at the end of the day, would I encourage anybody to do it? I'd say go for it. Go for it. See if you like it. Yeah. I can't, it has its ups and its downs, and its positives and its negatives, and it's a mixed bag, just like anything, just like any job. It's work. And I think it's a lot like a lot of jobs. It has its upsides, its downsides. You have your coworkers. Sometimes you got to wake up early and show up early and stay really late. And then you get up the next day and you're like, man, I got to be on camera today, and my face is all puffy because I'm tired from shooting yesterday. And then it's like, well, her boss could be tired. That does happen in real life. So I guess it wouldn't be terrible if his face is too puffy. But you're rushing home to get to bed, and then try to get to bed. And it's just different if you're on camera. If I've worked crew stuff for my own film projects and crew for photo shoots since way back. And when you're crew, man, I don't care what I look like. You know, I'm there to work. I'm wearing comfortable shoes. I'm wearing shorts. I got my tool belt on, you know, tape and all that. And so just being on camera is really different. But if you have any questions, just let me know. I'll try to help if I can. That's my experience with it. Obviously, I could talk for longer about it, but I pretty much covered what I think I need to cover. So I hope your day's going well, and God bless, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.